Hi, my name is Aubrey Adams. I'm making this video for the citizens of Missouri and Stephen at the Polinsky Coalition Against Drugs. I grew up in St. Louis, Missouri. I help any community, any state not to legalize any type of marijuana. This industry is a very deceptive industry, has a lot of false claims, and they're wrecking people's brain, and they're adding to the addiction crisis. Marijuana is a gateway drug and a companion drug. It is not an exit drug or harm reduction drug. I know families that do not have their children anymore believing that lie. Take it very, very personally. And when I speak to these parents that don't have their children anymore, I don't even know. Like, I say to them, I cannot believe your strength and you're speaking out and sharing your story. And you know what the response is, I'd be weak again if it meant my son or daughter could come back again. They don't want to be strong. They want their kids, and they want their kids to be healthy, productive members of society. And we have a marijuana industry that's lying to them, telling them that marijuana will treat their addiction. It is a blatant lie. When the proponents of marijuana say that you need to legalize because it'll take away from the black market, the illegal market, it's just a blatant lie. The legalization of marijuana, whether it's medical or recreational, which is the same thing, the same products, it's a front for the drug dealers to come set up shop in your neighborhoods. For example, we never had a homicide in my neighborhood in Pueblo, Colorado, until we legalized marijuana. So when you say any home can be a potential, can grow and use their own marijuana, you turn every home into a potential drug house. Yes, some people will follow the rules, but many, many people will not follow the rules. They're just waiting for more states to legalize so they can come set up shop in your neighborhoods. And I believe Missouri will have it worse because you have way more water than Colorado does. So this is Brad Fowler. He lived in my neighborhood, and he was growing marijuana and selling it to the black market. And this man and two other men came to buy marijuana off of him, and they killed him. And he laid dead on the street December 2nd, 2016. My heart goes out to his family. I do not agree with what Mr. Fowler is doing, and I think it's very sad that he lost his life over it. But when they say it takes away murder and crime, they are liars. There are numerous stories of like this, of people losing their life over marijuana transaction or home invasions for marijuana. They said, oh, it'll decrease the gang activity. Well, here's a gang shooting car crash in front of my house. Yep. I believe this was a Friday about noon. Yeah, right in front of my house. Guys crashed it, took off running on foot. I think they ended up catching one of the guys. Our homeless population has exploded. Here's a guy asking for weed. My main shopping area was Sam's Club, and across the street is a marijuana grow and shop. Located behind that is the river where a lot of the homeless camps are. Here's a homeless couple asking for help. The smell that comes from the shop during harvest season, oh my gosh, you have to explain to your children why they have to smell dead skunk the whole time you're there. And it's not just at the Sam's Club parking lot, it's everywhere. You'll be driving down the road and people will be smoking marijuana in their cars, which is like on a daily basis. And that marijuana smoke will come into your car, and you have to smell dead skunk all the time, because once that smell's there, it's so trapped. And you can go to my YouTube channel and you can see testimony after testimony of people describing what it's like to live in legalized states. Here, you know how I said the proponents think that the black market will decrease? Well, here's a picture of the DEA busting illegal marijuana grow, because people come from all over the world to buy up our homes and buy up our properties and set up their grows, okay? And it's not just other countries. People within America are coming to do that too. Like, the war on drugs comes right next door to you if you legalize medical, recreational, whatever. It's the same thing. The other thing that really drives me nuts with the medical marijuana, 70% of the stores in Colorado are recommending marijuana to pregnant women to treat nausea. And they promised that they would not expose children to marijuana, but they are blatantly exposing them. And then when you ask about them, they'll tell you marijuana is safe. And that's not true. I mean, the medical professional was saying there's no amount of marijuana that is safe for any child. And so my mom and I hung these bibs from the Marijuana Accountability Coalition ran a campaign saying "Don't hurt our future, Colorado kids." So we hung these bibs on the marijuana shops in Pueblo, Colorado. Now, to this day, there's no accountability for any of those marijuana shops. So that's another reason why you cannot legalize medical marijuana, because there will be no accountability for them. They will bring in bud tenders that play Russian roulette with people's brains with no license, with no education, no accountability. They don't have to list the harms and risks on their products, and they have no dose frequency. So any medical benefit from marijuana should be supported, and only by the FDA and medical professional, not these bud tenders that are hurting these children and not following the rules. Another thing that proponents of marijuana say is that, well, we need to legalize because nobody ever dies from marijuana. Nobody ever overdoses from marijuana. And that's a blatant lie too. So people overdose from marijuana all the time. They might not stop breathing immediately like on an opioid overdose, because we have less receptor sites for marijuana in our brains, and the location of those receptor sites aren't necessarily located in the region where breathing is controlled. So people are overdosing on marijuana, but medical intervention is more successful because they don't stop breathing as fast as they do with opioids. And a lot of these people end up on ventilators. And just ask any medical professional in Colorado. They will tell you all about it. California, they're seeing it everywhere. We had a doctor from New York contact Mom's Drug organization just the other day because they're seeing all the adverse effects. It's just wrecking. It's just going through this country so fast. And when proponents of marijuana, they'll lie about that it'll decrease the black market. They lie that nobody overdoses. And I want to tell you, the overdoses too look like psychotic breaks. So the overdoses look like suicide and homicide. And I'm going to tell you, and I'm going to be bold about this, a lot of the mass shootings, either marijuana is the main factor or one of the factors in the brain health of these people that are becoming psychotic and shooting up these people. A prime example of that is the Planned Parenthood shooter that in Colorado. That man is so psychotic. This happened, I think it was 2014, 2015 that shooting happened, and to this day he's still deemed incompetent to stand trial. Marijuana, it can cause psychosis. All drugs can cause psychosis, but the marijuana is the #1 driver to that psychosis, and nobody's talking about it. And that's what we know with low potency marijuana. Now we have this extreme high potency marijuana. We have no clue what we're doing. So another thing that they lie about is that nobody ever dies from marijuana. Well, that's a lie. Another lie from them. Let me show you a few people that have. This is Brant Clark. He was 17 years old. He killed himself after smoking large amounts of marijuana. His mom said the changes in my son were so intense that in the next 3 days he had to require emergency care at 2 hospitals. Brent told doctors, marijuana really messed me up. He reported feelings of paranoia that he couldn't shake. He said sorry for what I've done in his suicide note. I wasn't thinking the night I smoked myself out. 17 years old. I wish I had a colored picture of him. Beautiful young man. This is Richard Kirk and Christine Kirk. Richard Kirk consumed a marijuana edible and became psychotic, and his wife was on the phone with 911 when he shot and killed his wife. And they have 3 children. They lost both their parents that day. This is Mark Ballard. He was featured in a PBS special. He was dabbing the high potency marijuana that my son coined as crack weed, and we're starting to see that term used throughout the country. So please call it for what it is. It is crack weed and is wrecking people's brains. I am so fortunate that my son survived a suicide attempt. He's in recovery for the 3rd time, and he's pretty stable. He still has problems from his marijuana use, but he's doing really good, and I'm one of the lucky ones. And I want to do this because I don't want people to go down the same road. This is Levi Ponge. He was 18 or 19. He was a foreign exchange student. He was supposed to eat 1/6 of a marijuana cookie. He ended up eating the whole cookie, became psychotic, pulling things off the walls, speaking erratically, and jumped to his death off a balcony in Denver, Colorado. May he rest in peace. Beautiful young man. These people, so when people tell you marijuana doesn't kill, they're lying. These are marijuana overdoses that you're seeing from these psychotic breaks. That's what a marijuana overdose looks like. Here's another marijuana overdose. This is Daniel Juarez. He's from Brighton. He's 18. And his sister said if he had not smoked marijuana that night, he would still be here. Said his sister, Erica, he was extremely high. There's no other reason why he would do it. And let me tell you what he did. She said, I lost my brother to it. It's not harmless. It can kill people. Most people don't see that. Do you know what this young man did? This is not reefer madness. This is reality of what's happening with this marijuana. He stabbed himself 20 times. Let that sink in. 20 times. Very sad. I'm so sorry. My condolences to all these families. This is a backyard. 2 kids jumped the fence to steal this man's marijuana. The man shot the 2 teenage boys. 1 was killed, 1 was paralyzed. This is Peyton Knowlton. She was riding her bike one day with her father, and she was run over by a marijuana impaired driver. It's not being high off marijuana. You're impaired. This is Chad Britton. He was also, I believe he was 16. He was killed by a marijuana impaired driver. This is John Ramos, who's 39, and Stacy Reynolds, who was 30. They were also killed by a marijuana impaired driver. Here's another marijuana overdose. Luke Goodman. He killed himself after ingesting a marijuana edible in Keystone, Colorado. His mother states she believes marijuana caused her son to kill himself. Another beautiful young life lost. Marijuana kills. Here's the Mom Strong quilt, the first quilt that Lori has made. Different reasons why people have died from marijuana, impaired driving, marijuana-induced psychosis. I want to point out Jennifer. I know her mom. I know most of the parents in here. Jennifer was killed by a medical marijuana impaired driver. Missouri, do not allow this industry to come to your community. Do not sacrifice public health and safety for somebody's ability to make money off addiction economics, mental health economics. You think it won't affect you, it will affect you. Jennifer was going to be a social worker and help people with drug addiction, by the way, and I believe she was 23. Beautiful young lady, beautiful mother, all these families. This is, I've been involved with many documentaries. When people come to Colorado, all of us who speak out against it, we all connect, we all contact each other. Well, you talk to this journalist, we talk to this film crew and everything. And when they come to Pueblo, they say, hey, go talk to Aubrey Adams. She'll connect you with the people. I connect them to medical professionals, social service people, law enforcement, and vice versa. They refer people to me too. I mean, there's a lot of heroes in this movement that are really trying to get the truth out, but it's really, really hard against the biased media and the pro-pop propaganda. So this documentary, Chronic State, that was produced by Drug Free Idaho and Sideways Films, is an excellent, excellent documentary that everybody all over this world should watch. It gives you a broad view of the devastating impacts we are seeing with marijuana to the people, to the environment, and they did an excellent job with this documentary. I am so very proud of what they've done. I can't even say that enough. I'm going to end this video showing you a home invasion. And yes, there was a home invasion behind my house too. Woohoo, good times, marijuana, right? No, do not allow this into your community. Legalization of marijuana is a promotional policy. Only thing Missouri should be passing is drug prevention and drug recovery. By not voting for this is a drug prevention act. So here you go, here's a home invasion.
This is what's happening in our community. And coming